Welcome to another episode of Questions Are Answers. Today, we're going to be talking about why sometimes the most productive thing you can do is nothing. This is a very, very important topic and a topic that's near and dear to my heart because when I was first starting my business, I was completely into personal development, constantly trying to improve myself, trying to find all the tips, tricks, hacks to try to be more productive, squeeze out of more of my day, plan everything out. And basically what that led was to complete burnout was because I was constantly stretching myself far beyond what I could possibly handle. And still after I went past that point of exhaustion, burning out, completely knocking out and not taking care of myself as a result, I was very, very, very purposeless. I found myself very anxious all the time, very fearful. And after all that, I still felt like I wasn't enough because I was comparing myself to other people that I thought were doing a much better job of being productive than I was. And who's to say, what's the measuring yard of productivity anyway? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it happiness? Is it peace? Is it like, what is the measure of productivity anyway? So I basically set myself up for complete failure. And I would say that it completely left me burnt out and didn't really know what I was doing anymore. And I'm sure many of you are feeling exactly the same way, where we live in a society that puts productivity on a pedestal. And if you're not constantly working every single hour of every single day and maximizing it, then we don't feel enough. Then we're not doing enough, that we're not living up to our full potential. But what is our full potential anyway? Is it just being robots and working day and night with never ever taking care of ourselves or taking a break or doing things that we love or enjoy in life? Is productivity really the goal? Or is it peace, love, joy, loving what you do, feeling fulfilled? What is the end goal? At the end of the day, all we really want is to experience some sort of feeling. And productivity isn't a feeling. What do you want from being productive? How do you want to feel when you are productive? Or what feeling are you trying to get by being productive? And the answer to that question, only you will know. But once you have that answer, you'll realize why you even feel like you need to be productive in the first place. And it's because you don't feel those feelings yet. But what if we could just skip to the end and feel those feelings now? Peace, love, joy, serenity, happiness, fulfillment. And so that's what we really want to optimize for, not necessarily productivity, but how we want to feel at the end of the day. That is the true measure of success, not what we do, but how we feel. So what I want to bring to light in this conversation is why, in order to be productive, sometimes the best thing to do is really nothing. And it's okay to do nothing. Actually, we get some of our best ideas from doing absolutely nothing. Maybe we're showering. Maybe we're doing something that is seen as more of a menial, mundane task that isn't really that important. And those are the times when we're sitting there doing nothing or just doing some sort of thing like that, that we have some of our best ideas, that we have some sort of thought out of nowhere of what we want to create in the world or how to do something better or some sort of new invention or creation that we want to bring into the world or a new way to express ourselves. And so just like how when we go to work out, we definitely need time to rest. And that actually, if we worked out every single minute of every single day, we would never build muscle. We would never get stronger because there's no time for our muscles to rest and repair itself. That's also the same way for our minds. And how often do we let our minds take a break? Because after work, we're using our minds all day. And then after work, we come home and start consuming a lot of different media, content, YouTube, movies, whatever it is. And that's also using our minds. We think that it's not, but what happens is we actually never give our minds a break to do nothing. And it's always being stimulated. So think about it in those terms, like how often is your brain stimulated and how often are you actually giving it a break to rest, repair, create new neural networks, and to give space, more importantly, for you to be able to have some of these new ideas for creations and just something new in your life. So it's incredibly important to create that space. And space is usually created by doing nothing. And so I really do, for me, one of the best things I ever did was to give myself permission to do nothing. It doesn't have to be for long. You can make up the time that you want, but really giving yourself, your mind, time and space to relax, to decompress, to not have to do anything, to not have to constantly think about what to do next, worrying about the future, being anxious or regretful or resentful or shameful about the past. Just let go of all of that. Let go of all of that thinking and to allow yourself to just be here now, to do nothing. And you'll be surprised. Our mind really doesn't like doing nothing. And you'll start to see all this thinking come back up. And that's okay. Allow it to be there and to realize that thinking is the root cause of all suffering. And once you realize that, asking yourself, is this thinking useful? And if not, you can let it go. And to return into that state. That's really what meditation is. But you can do it more actively. And that's what I really enjoy doing, is just living my life, having fun, doing nothing, and creating that space for you to really rest. And knowing that it's okay. Because ultimately, you're not trying to be more productive for nothing. You're ultimately trying to feel something. Because ultimately, you're not trying to be productive for no reason. You're trying to be productive to feel something. What is it that you want to feel? And then doing nothing will first help you to be able to feel those feelings. Because what emotion do you feel when you're not thinking? It's peace, serenity, maybe nothing, maybe some joy, relaxation. That's the key. That when we do nothing, we feel just total calmness. And from that space, because we're creative beings, we can never really just sit there and do nothing forever. And you're not going to do nothing forever. And that's a big fear too, that if we take a break or if we relax or if we aren't constantly working, then we'll just become lazy couch potatoes. And is that really true though? If you sit there long enough and just do nothing long enough, you'll actually get bored of doing nothing and you'll want to create something. That is a natural part of being human. We were created to create. And this side of ourselves that we usually suppress because for the sake of productivity is creativity. And so allow yourself to do nothing so that you can be more creative. You'll realize that boredom feeds creativity, that constraints create creativity or promotes it and can incentivize it. So if you're looking for that fulfillment, if you're looking for that joy, if you're looking for something that's missing in your life, it ironically and paradoxically might be from doing nothing. And again, you don't have to believe what I'm saying. Just try it out and see what happens. See what happens when you do nothing. Watch the story and the narrative that pops up when you try to do that. And what happens when you do that. And then when you do it long enough, you might surprise yourself with what you come up with whatever thoughts pop into your mind, with how creative you actually feel, and some of the things that you feel like you want to bring out and express and create in the world. So do it, test it, try it. Then from your own experience, see what you want to do next. But create space for yourself, because that's the only time and place that you can actually allow thoughts of creativity, thoughts of divine inspiration to come through. So that's all I have for this episode. I love you all very much.